Hello students, today in this video we are going to learn Chapter 1, A Tale of Two Birds from a book called A Bat with the Sun, Supplementary Reader in English for Class 6. This chapter, A Tale of Two Birds, is a very short and interesting story which has a very good moral. This story, A Tale of Two Birds, tale means story. A story of two birds is about a mother bird and her two young ones who lived in a forest. One day, a very big storm came and the mother was killed in a storm, and the young birds were separated from each other and they were found in a different home. So let us see the story. Let me read the text. There once lived a bird and her two newborn babies in a forest. They had a nest in a tall shady tree, and there the mother bird took care of her little ones day and night. So the story begins in this way. Once upon a time, there lived a bird and her two newborn babies in a forest. They had a nest in a very tall shady tree, and there the mother always took care of the little ones every day, that is, every day and night. One day there was a big storm. There was a thunder, lightning, and rain, and the wind blew down many trees. The tall tree in which the birds lived also came down. A big heavy branch hit the nest and killed the bird. So one day there was a big storm came. There was thundering, lightning, and a rain, and the wind was blowing very harshly that it blew down many trees. And the tall tree where this mother bird and the two kids lived in a nest, that very tree, that particular tree also came down. A big and heavy branch hit the nest and then killed the mother bird. Only the two kids were left alone. Fortunately for the baby birds, the strong wind blew them away to the other side of the forest. So fortunately, which means luckily, the baby birds, these two baby birds, the strong wind blew them away to the other side of the forest. They were not killed, only the mother died, and these two little birds, they were blown away to the other side of the forest. One of them came down near a cave where a gang of robbers lived. The other landed outside a rishi's ashram a little distance away. So this is how the two young birds found a different home. They were brothers, but the storm took them or blown them away to a different place. So one of the birds came down near a cave where a gang of robbers lived. Robbers means thieves, the one who loot others. So there was a cave, and in that cave there were gang of robbers, and then the bird was blown away to that very place. And the other bird, it landed outside a rishi's ashram. Rishi means a Hindu saint or a sage. Okay, so rishi's ashram a little distance away. You can see from the picture, the wind is blowing, the rain also, it's raining. Okay, now the two pictures, this is nearby the forest, and they are blown away by the storm to this different place. So one bird landed outside a rishi's ashram. You can see on the left side, the bird has flown down there. There is an ashram, okay, a little distance away from the forest. And the other bird also, you can see the cave in the picture. This is the cave. The bird landed there just next to that a cave where a gang of robbers lived in that very cave. Now let us see the next. Days passed and the baby birds became big birds. One day the king of the country came to the forest to hunt. He saw a deer and rode after it. It ran deep into the forest, followed by the king. Soon the king lost his way and didn't know where he was. So the days passed by, and slowly, gradually the baby birds, they grew and they became big birds. They didn't live in the same place, they were in a different place. One was with the robbers and the other was with the rishis in an ashram. So days passed by and the baby birds, they became big birds. One day, the king of the country came to the forest for hunting. And there in the forest, the king saw a deer and he rode after the deer. But the deer ran deep into the forest because the deer was scared of that king, because the king wanted to kill the deer. And so as the deer ran deep into the forest, the king also followed the deer. And then the king lost his way and didn't know where he was. He got lost in the forest because the forest was a very thick forest, and he went deep inside the forest following that very deer, and later on he realized that he was lost in the forest. He rode on for a long time till he came to the other side of the forest. Very tired by now, he got off his horse and sat down under a tree that stood near a cave. Suddenly he heard a voice cry out, "Quick, hurry up! There is someone under the tree. Come and take his jewels and his horse. Hurry, or else he will slip away." The king was amazed. He looked up and saw a big brown bird on the tree under which he was sitting. He also heard faint noises issuing from the cave. He quickly got onto his horse and rode away as fast as he could. Now, as the king got lost in the forest, the king rode on for a long time. He was riding a horse, so he rode on for a long time till he came to the other side of the forest. He was very tired, so he got off his horse, which means he got down from his horse and he sat down under a tree that stood near a cave. So this is the cave, the same cave where the little bird was blown by the storm. Okay, the little bird was blown away by the storm and it landed there near a cave. So this is the same cave. So the king sat down under a tree that stood near a cave. Then suddenly he heard a voice. Someone was crying out. And that voice, it was saying, "Quick, hurry up." This is what the voice said. And this voice is none other than the bird's voice. The bird who landed there near the cave. So the voice said, "Quick, hurry up. There is someone under the tree. Come and take his jewels and his horse." So here, maybe the robbers, they had kept the bird to see anyone is coming or not. And so when the bird saw the king resting under the very tree, he cried out. He cried out and he called out to the robbers to come quickly and to take away the king's jewels and also his horse. And he also told to the robbers to hurry, or else the king will slip away. The king was amazed. By hearing that voice, the king was so much amazed, and he looked up and he saw a bird, a big brown bird on the same tree, the tree where he was sitting under. So there was a big brown bird on the tree, and the bird was crying out, telling the robbers to come and attack the king and to take away his jewels and also his horse. And the king also heard some noises from the cave. Noises who is producing these noises? That is the robbers. The robbers were inside the cave and they were talking and they were discussing. So he also heard the noises that was coming from the cave. So immediately this very king, he quickly got onto his horse. He sat on his horse and he rode away as fast as he could, because the king thought that there is something wrong and anything can happen to him. So though he was tired, he did not take a rest for a long time. As soon as he heard the bird crying out, and also as he heard the faint noises from the cave, the king quickly got on to his horse and he rode away as fast as he could. Now let us see the next. Soon he came to a clearing which looked like an ashram. It was the rishi's ashram. The king tied his horse to a tree and sat down in its shade. Suddenly he heard a gentle voice announce, "Welcome to the ashram, sir. Please go inside and rest. The rishi will be back soon. There is some cold water in the boat. Please make yourself comfortable." The king looked up and saw a big brown bird in the tree. He was amazed. "This one looks like the other bird outside the cave," he said to himself loudly. So the king rode away from that cave, nearby the cave, as he was resting. He soon came to a clearing, to an open area, okay, and he saw a home, okay. He saw a home. It looked like an ashram. The house, it looked like an ashram, and it was the rishi's ashram. So the king tied his horse to a tree and he sat down in its shade. He was sitting down in the tree's shade because he was very tired. Then suddenly he heard a very soft voice, gentle voice, welcoming him. This is what the bird said. "Welcome to the ashram, sir." So kindly, a voice welcomed him. That is, the voice is none other than the bird's voice, the other bird who had landed in that ashram. So he welcomed him, addressing him sir, and also he told him to go inside, and he said that the rishi will be back soon. And he also told to the king to have some cold water which was kept in the boat. And also the king was told to make himself comfortable. Then the king looked up and the king saw a big brown bird in the tree. He was amazed. At this time also the king was amazed because the bird was very similar. The bird who was crying out to the robbers to take away his jewels and his horse, that bird and the present bird looks similar, and so he was amazed. "This one looks like the other bird outside the cave," he said to himself loudly. Then after seeing the bird, he said to himself very loudly that bird looks like the other bird which was outside the cave. You can see the picture here. The bird, you can see the rishi, his horse, and the king is standing there, okay, the same bird. So now, "You are right, sir," answered the bird. "He is my brother, but he has made friends with robbers. He now talks as they do. He doesn't talk to me anymore." Just then the rishi entered the ashram. So when the king said to himself that this very bird looks like the other bird outside the cave, then the bird also heard, and the bird replied to the king that yes, they look similar because he is his brother and he has made friends with robbers, and now he talks like the robbers. His behavior has become like the robbers. And he also told to the king that his brother who is with the robbers doesn't talk to him anymore. Just then, at that moment, the rishi entered the ashram. Rishi came. You can see from the picture. "Welcome, sir," he said to the king. "Please come inside and make yourself at home. You look tired. Rest for a while, then you can share my food." This is what the rishi said. The rishi saw the king and he also welcomed him, and he told him to come inside and to make himself comfortable at home, which means comfortable. And rishi said, "You look tired. Rest for a while." So this is what the rishi told to the king, that is to take rest for a while. Then after that, he said that they can share his food, or he can have his food. So rishi was very happy. The rishi was very happy to find the king there in his ashram. So he is willing to share even his food to the king. And he also told to the king to take rest for a while as he was tired. The king told the rishi the story of the two birds and how each had behaved so differently though they looked so alike. "The forest is full of surprises," he said. The holy man smiled and said, "After all, one is known by the company one keeps. That bird has always heard the talk of robbers. He imitates them and talks about robbing people. This one has repeated what he has always heard. He welcomes people to the ashram. Now come inside and rest. I'll tell you more about this place and these birds." So, when the king was taken inside, the king told to the rishi the story of these two birds. He had come across two birds who looked similar, but their behavior, their manners were quite different. So he told to the rishi about these two birds, how they behaved so differently, though they look so alike. Alike means same, okay? They look very similar. Then the king also says that the forest is full of surprises. He is amazed. He is very surprised by seeing these two birds which behave so differently though they look alike. Then the holy man smiled and said, and he says, "After all, one is known by the company one keeps." So this is the moral. One is known by the company one keeps. So this is what the rishi says. After all, it depends on the company. It depends on the friends to whom we linger on, to whom we spend our time, we become like them. So if the company is good, if your friends are good, or if our friends are good, then we will also become like them. We will be good. We will have a good manners. We will have good behavior. But if we make friendship with those people who are ill-mannered, then we will also become like them. So company plays a very vital role. So we have to see to whom we have to make friendship. So this is what the rishi says. So one is known by the company one keeps. And the rishi says that the bird who has landed near the cave has been living with the robbers, and he has always heard the robbers talking about robbing others, stealing others. And so he has learned from them. The bird has learned from them. He imitates them and he talks about robbing people. Earlier we had seen, "Quick, hurry up. Take the king's jewels and horse." Okay, these things. So the bird imitates them and he talks about robbing people. So this one has repeated what he has always heard. So the bird was always with the robbers. Whatever the robbers speak, whatever they talk, this very bird also imitates them. And in this way, since his company was not good, they were robbers. So the bird also became like the robbers, and he talks like the robbers because of the company that he had with. And the other one, which is in the ashram, that is what the king says, the rishi says, the one which is in the ashram, he welcomed people to the ashram because he had seen the rishi and he had seen those people those who stay in the ashram talking very kindly, very softly, very generously, okay, and they welcome others very warmly. And so this bird also had learned from them. So he welcomes people to the ashram. This is what the rishi said to the king. That means this very bird stays in the ashram and he has been seeing the people, how they talk, how softly, how kindly, and how warmly they welcome. This bird has imitated them, and he imitates them, and he welcomes the others like the rishis too, or like the people those who are in the ashram too. So he welcomes people to the ashram. Then after that, rishi told to the king to come inside and to take rest. And he also told him that he will tell him more about this place and also these birds, about the birds, how they had landed there. Okay, now the rishi will be telling a story about these two birds, how they had got or how they had landed in the other different place. One is nearby the cave and the other one is in the ashram. So the king also went inside, and the rishi might have narrated the story about these two birds. So it's very clear. The moral is one is known by the company one keeps. So we should always check, or we should always see which company A will be better for us, so that we will become a disciplined and a good-mannered man or a person. And we should always avoid bad company, because the company plays a very vital role in our life. If we make friendship with a bad company, we will also become bad. And if we make friendship with a good company, then we will also become good. Good means we will have all the good qualities, the behaviors. So there will be lots of changes in us. So we should always check which one is better, which company will be better for us. So this is the explanation of the chapter, The Tale of Two Birds. So the story is very simple. Please go through it. You will be able to understand and listen carefully to the explanation. Thank you.